McLaren entered this season ready for giant-killing performances on the back of a resurgent 2019, in which it finished as best of the rest, fourth in the constructors' standings behind the top teams. Its highest place since 2012, with Carlos Sainz scoring McLaren's first podium for 5 years in Brazil, much to his and the team's surprise.
Yeah, I think the podium was well, a great achievement for the whole team. Obviously for myself in my first year in McLaren, podium was probably never in our sights. We were just trying to see if we could get as close to it and maybe get a bit of luck, and that's exactly what happened in Brazil, and super proud, super happy about it.
But while McLaren has a budget above its midfield rivals, totaling $250 million in 2019, 40 million more than immediate competitor Renault, which pockets its power unit spend, it's still $85 million less than what Red Bull Racing spends, meaning F1's cost cap can't come soon enough.
We highly welcome, obviously, the budget cap kicking in from 21 onwards, because for us it's the only chance really to be in F1 in a sustainable and at the same time a competitive way. I think we are in this good position that we are pretty much operating already now at this level, which means we don't have major interruptions.
But since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown and others have been pushing for a tighter cost cap than the approved $175 million, not just for the good of the midfield teams, but the sport. So far, however, they've been unsuccessful. The initial target was $150 million, which 90% of the F1 grid could afford. But earlier this month, during a team teleconference, McLaren pushed for a move to an even tighter $100 million. It's understood that the move was blocked by Ferrari and Red Bull Racing, who Brown says are playing with fire resisting change, given the fragile state of the sport in its COVID-19 holding pattern. It's a huge marketing platform for those two teams, so I understand why they want to keep the fiscal balance where it is now, he said. But in sport, you kind of want to think that everyone can fight fairly, and may the best team win. It's an incredible position for McLaren to take, given its iconic former leader Ron Dennis's view on helping struggling teams. This is a tough, competitive sport, and if you can't take the heat, get out of the bloody kitchen, he famously said in 2003. But Brown understands that in this big-budget, technically complex era of F1, the path back to the top requires McLaren to either spend at least $85 million more every year in the current climate, or cut budgets in half and push for closer competition and a more level playing field, which in the end benefits everyone. Until that happens, though, the orange team will only be able to score rare surprises, like Sainz's podium in Brazil last year. For now, McLaren remains on an upward trajectory, but there's still some way to go in where it wants to be, let alone racing.
Coming from where we've been in the big leap we made last year, I think we need to keep our feet on the ground, that it's going to take us a little bit more time to get to ultimately where we're fighting with the big three.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.